Good evening, everybody. You realize it's already November? Yeesh. All right, we'll get started here. See if I've got everything in order. All right, as we saw today, had another indecisive day. If you look at this chart, essentially they have not wanted to trade off this level right here. Started up on Thursday, brought it right back, smack dab to the same level on Friday. Essentially, I think nobody's going to make any major decisions until this election is over. The NASDAQ has just been kind of hugging the 200 here, not coming up, not going down. Also waiting to see whether what the results are of the election. And the S&P 500 all kind of hovering right in this same exact area over the last almost 2 weeks of trading. So all that does really for us is gets us in situations that have setups, which we'll go through. But first, let's go through crude oil. I still have an idea crude oil is going to hit $80 a barrel here in the next few weeks. Interest rates. As you can see, this is a big pennant formation, so it's not going to go anywhere for a while unless this time they break it out to the upside. That's going to take interest rates even lower. I don't know how they can do that, but they can take interest rates even lower. Gold, just almost down to the 200-day moving average. Silver, at the 200-day moving average. So that's essentially the target they were looking for. Now we have to see whether the 200 is going to act as support or not. What else we got? Soybeans. This is January soybeans. Been short soybeans for the last couple of days. Because notice they did a bearish engulfing signal. We're kind of in a downtrend. Came up some. Should be heading down, I would think, to the 200-day moving average. Had another down day today after the kind of the bearish engulfing signal yesterday. Let's see if we can make this bigger. And we're getting a little bit of a bounce after hours right now. But notice your stochastics are still heading down. I would anticipate we could be a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 situation, bringing it down. What vehicle is used to short soybeans? Russ, the commodity market is basically you either buy or you sell. They don't care whether you've sold it short. So you just have buy and sell on your executions, because your account will already show whether you own it or not. All you're doing is buying a piece of paper or selling a piece of paper that gives somebody the right to buy or sell this in the future. So you don't have to tell them you're selling short. What will happen, though, is let's say you have an account of $25,000 trading commodities. It takes approximately $5,000 of margin to do a soybean contract. So that means if I put on a soybean contract, long or short, I'm using up $5,000 worth of buying power out of that 25,000. So that essentially means I can only buy 5 contracts of soybeans if I was going to do all soybeans. Now your profit and loss doesn't matter what price you buy it for. It's not, you're not going to pay any more for it up here than you are down here. All you're doing is buying or selling a piece of paper, and it starts either getting profitable or at a loss from the point where you bought or sold it. So you need a futures trading capability, yes. And I think Thinkorswim is very effective for trading because they've got all the accounts at one place. Usually if you're trading commodities, you have to have a commodity account someplace and a brokerage account someplace else. They have it all together at Thinkorswim. Okay, let's see. I also went long in the dollar. For one specific reason. What's a chart of interest rates? Bonds and interest rates. Yes, so the price of the bonds going up means interest rates would be going down. All right, so this is the dollar. Notice what the dollar did. Did our classic, came up, hit the 50 as resistance, pulled back to the T-line, did our little J-hook crunch, and then went through yesterday. So bought this yesterday, or actually it was Friday, continuing to hold it. Where do I suspect the next target's going to be? Right up here to the 200-day moving average. And what else do we need to look at? Dollar. I don't know if any of these are. Sugar still just slowly working its way down. Wheat has just been a dull trader in the sideways channel for quite a while. And corn also caught in this sideways channel. Nothing exciting going on there. Let's see, natural gas has rolled over right to the down here to the 50. Has a easy chart to trade with a doji right here at the 50. If they open it lower, they're going to take it down to the 200. If they open it higher, they're going to start it back up again. Lumber in a slow uptrend, but looks like they must have just started the January contract. Starting to roll over here also. Okay. All right. Even though we've had a sideways market, just bring up the individual stocks. When I tell Jim to do the double line, that will be when you want to put in your individual stock requests in. QUHU, we're still long. Notice what it did today. It kind of had a little doji day and opened positive, stayed above the T-line. So did some dojis right here in the 200s. Stochastics in the oversold area. And look where it's bounced in the last few days. From the 200 up to the 50. So even with that, that was about a 12, 13% move. Yeah, not all futures are 24 hours. Most of them are very short hours, such as orange juice, I think, opens at 8 in the morning and closes at around 11:30 in the morning. But then your currencies can trade most of the day. See, right now the dollar is trading again. And then after hours, also for the soybeans and the grains. They'll trade it during the night. Okay, let's see some other ones. This one I like because anytime you can see a pattern setup, in this case, notice you've got a scoop pattern. Then you've got a doji bullish confirmation. Now you've got a gap up doji. Now you have another doji. But if you look at this whole thing, you've got this scoop setup. Stochastics nowhere near the overbought area. If this opens positive, you want to be ready to be buying because we know the reaction of a scoop is going to be a nice slingshot effect coming out the other side. And we got a lot of setups from the, this one's kind of a scoop pattern also, but notice our doji right here. If it opens positive, what were all the ramifications? Number one, that it was going to trade positive after a doji. Number two would be a doji sandwich. Number three would be breaking out through the handle here, which would give it some strength. And your stochastics are still heading up. A doji, Wave Rider, where have you been? Doji is where it opens and closes, right about at the same level. So we have TRQ coming out of a nice fry pan bottom, gapped up above the handle, did a doji. This one you want to keep an eye on tomorrow. If it opens positive, you're going to have a doji sandwich, breakout, fry pan bottom, stochastics still heading up. Where's your next suspected target on this trend? Probably up here at the 200-day moving average. An ARO. There's your doji sandwich. Anytime you see that big candle and a doji, just get ready for it to open positive the next day. You've got a high probability of even a day trade of making a good percentage move. FDC. Whoops. FBC says pork bellies. There's your doji sandwich, a doji, right at a breakout level. If it opened positive, we wanted to be buying immediately. And HUN, doji sandwich, breaking out into new territory. So you've got wave one, wave two, wave three starting with a gap up doji, and now positive confirmation. And HCA, big bullish engulfing signal, kind of a doji day, bullish confirmation. Notice that this day right here is equivalent to this day right here. Just a very effective day trade symbol. The reason we're concentrating on it right now is because there's a heck of a lot of them right now working in this market. Big candle, doji type day, bullish candle, staying above the T line. And IMOS, just to illustrate that even though it might not hit that same magnitude, it's probably going to move in the direction of how they open it after doji. So even on a bad day, you still know you're going to make some money or have a high probability of making money off of that trade. All right, some that look good right now. NTE. That looks like a hive of ants. NTE. Well, shuzbutts. NTE. Kicker type signal with a gap up. Wave one, wave two, starting wave three. If you're a buyer, use the halfway point of this candle as your stop. And Cena, another kicker type signal that came up through the T line. This one, wouldn't be afraid to be buying. Might even look at a 60-65 call spread based upon the kicker and then the breach through the T line. GCO, same scenario, little kicker type signal, breaking to the upside. Another one, you might look at a 60-65 call spread. Where's the first potential target? Right up here at 65. I'd like to see what that spread is. The T-line is the 8 exponential moving average. Your moving averages, the big red one is your 200. The blue one is your 50. The gray is your 20. These are all simple moving averages. These are what all the money managers around the world use to make their decisions. Then this is the T-line, the 8 exponential moving average. Not necessarily a window. Yeah, this is close enough to what I would consider a kicker. It's opening right about the same level it opened the other day or the day before and went this way. That's a strong enough kicker to say or signal to say yes, there's been a change of investor sentiment. BRKR, another scoop type pattern that has broken out. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one using today's open as your stop. And TPLM. Well, S.TPLM. This one looked more like a scoop somehow. Anyways, you got Morningstar signal, doji, bullish engulfing, close above the T-line. If this one starts moving up, you've got kind of that handle there setting up for a scoop type situation. Explain your 65. What was that one on? Whoops. On Cena? Okay. All right, let's say we're going to have a strong move from a kicker signal. So at least up here at the 65, at least. But somewhere in this area, probably to test the highs. All right, I'd buy the 60s and sell the 65s because this is about where the upside would be. So a lot of, are we only 11 days from expiration already? What is today, the 5th? By George? Right, the 3rd Friday. Yeah, I'd take a look at the, first of all, I'd take a look at the Novembers and then the December. And if that's in that squeaky range where it might be too short for a November, it might also be too long for a December. So I might put 1/3 of the trade on as a November and 2/3 of the trade on as a December. And, or, I might look at a bullish put spread, selling that. So that would be essentially selling the put at the 65 and buying the put of 60. The reason for that is if it's too close to expiration, if you do the puts, you've probably got more premium built into the puts that are going to help. If the price goes up, your premium is going to dissipate as the price moves up and gets closer to expiration. Everybody get that? So if no, I would I would be buying on positive trading because we've already had a kicker signal. All right. If somebody would look up what the bullish call spread is for CINA, 60-65 November. And then also, would you look up what it would be for selling a 60 put, buying a 65 put? What that one would be. Okay, Alan, the call spread is about $1.45. So that works out right because you want to keep it where it would probably be making you at least 2.5 times to 1. So $1.45 would turn into $5 if it got to 65. The November is mid-price. Oh, that was December. Okay. The November is $1.12. All right. So it's still probably, with them being that close together, it makes more sense just to go out to the December. Okay. We'll try to do a spread analysis here in the next couple weeks. That's what we're going to do. Is we're going to be breaking them down to how you do the math. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Doing options using candlestick signals is nothing more. If you already analyze which direction you're going to go, the next factor is doing the math. Which option strategy makes a sense math-wise, where you've got your least amount of risk and your highest potential return. Okay, so the November puts are 3. Is that for the spread? And I can't think of it right off my head, but yeah, I'm thinking of maybe doing a credit spread versus a debit spread. But that is something I need to sit down with a pen and paper real quick to do, which we'll have to do another night. Okay, and again, remember, actually, we were talking about some of these that were doing the scoops. I still like this pattern, SEM. All right, SRPT is setting up nicely. Wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading. And the reason I wouldn't be afraid to be buying this one on positive trading is notice where it could move to. From here back up to test the highs, 20 points on a $25 stock. That's worthwhile. And you've got a very simple entry strategy. If it opens positive tomorrow, you buy it. And then you use the T-line as your stop. HALO, same scenario. Pretty much the same type of return. If it opens positive, you want to buy it. Coming from whatever this would be, 550 to the 850 level, same amount of. All right, thank you, Bobby. Yeah, I'll have to put numbers to it to see which one would be more a better risk factor. GEO, big bullish engulfing. This one you might want to start watching on a positive open tomorrow. SSH. This one you might want to start looking at buying on a positive open tomorrow, coming out of a double bottom. SUSFUN. J-hook, or more of a scoop, not scoop, J-hook, fry pan, just about ready to break out. Frank asked after the double lines. Let's see, back to your question, David. Yes. What we found out was that we were trying to cram too much information into one weekend, going through all the strategies. So I'm trying to break them down to where we take one strategy at a time, put spreads, when and where to use them, and then the call spread that would go adjacent to that, or when and where to use that. So it will be a much slower process, but something that allows everybody to let it sink in, so they don't have too much information all in one weekend. Let's see, bullish Harami on Vivus, and right near the top or the bottom of this trend channel. From here to back up here would be a good, let's see, 7 points. 50% move. Okay, thank you, Martin. That's what I keep forgetting to look at on that one, is the volume. TTMI. On the other, on TC, it showed as a stick sandwich. But as you can see, we had an inverted hammer and another big bullish signal. They're coming in to buy this one now. So this one can be bought on positive trading. And, well, BHE. Big belt hold. This one you want to be buying, especially if it breaks through this downtrending channel. All right, some of the ones on the opposite direction. This one you want to be going short, Z. Notice how it just started rolling over, and bam, they're starting to pull the plug. BPI. BPI, notice how it failed at the 50, back down through the T-line, kind of that failure. They could be taking this back down into this level again. S-Fly. Big belt hold, or a big bearish engulfing signal. Gap down today, you're right on the last support level. If it opens lower, it's heading lower. But the significant factor is the bigger you see a candlestick signal, the more compelling it is that it's going to go in that direction. Oh, it's down some more in aftermarket. All right. Oh, no, that was Z. Okay, down to 24. All right, that might be a little bit too late then. BVN, a big sell signal. This one is still going to be heading down further. PAG, big sell signal. This one's going to be heading down further. FLO. This one looks like it's failed right here at the 50. Now, if it doesn't get down through the T line, that tells you they might be doing a J hook, waiting for the T-line to do a crunch back up into the 50. However, if it starts trading back down below the T-line tomorrow, you're still in this downtrending channel. It might come all the way back down into this area, which be down in the $16, $15 range. All right. What is this getting set up for? Anybody? Lower, all right. There you go. Doji sandwich to the downside. If this opens weaker, look for it to head down into this range. Be ready to short this one. And CTSH, we recommended this as a short today because notice how it was failing the T-line still heading down. Also set up right now for a bearish doji sandwich. If it opens lower, you start shorting immediately. Where would you, if it opens lower and starts trading down, where is your stop? No. If it opens lower and starts heading lower, where should it not come back up to? It shouldn't come back up through here. Remember, if it opens lower, it should be going this way. If it comes back up through there, get right back out of it. It's not going in the direction it's supposed to be going. AXL. Whoops. S.AXL. Bearish J hook. Big down move. Pop back up. Failure of the T-line on the 200. If it opens lower and starts trading down below this level, they're still taking this one down. The body. Which one was that? No. So, let's see. CTSH. What do we expect to see out of a doji sandwich? That if they open it lower, they take it lower. They shouldn't open it lower and bring it back up through. Whoops, hang on. I think this might be one of the politicians wanting to talk to me. Oh, no. That was actually a legitimate phone call. So anyways, if it opens lower, it should be going this direction. It should not be coming back up through the doji. You're in the oversold area. So if it opened lower and started coming back up through that level, what would it be in the process of doing? Maybe setting up a left-right combo, bullish combo. So we don't want to see it, if it opens lower, we don't want to see it come back up through the head of through the body of that doji. No, remember, stochastics can stay overbought or oversold for quite a while. This one isn't showing anything where it's showing it's in an uptrend. So if it opened lower, I'm still looking for it to head down. Now, if it opens lower and starts heading down, then I can put my stop where it opened. Because if it's heading down, it should stay down here. If it comes down and comes back up through where it opened, now what do we got going on? We've got a doji, and now it looks like what might be a hammer signal. and or if it closed higher, a hammer, bullish, engulfing signal or left-right combination. So we can kind of anticipate what type of signals it would create if it comes up through the wrong direction. Can you use a doji sandwich on a 5-minute chart? Yes. You can use it anywhere. Remember, the candlestick signals are the accumulative knowledge of everybody buying and selling during a specific time frame, whether it's a 1 minute or a 1 month. Another one that's just nicely rolling over, if it opens weaker tomorrow, you want to be shorting it. Why? Because it tells you it wasn't holding the 50 anymore. They're probably coming back down to test the lower levels here. And JCP. Another one that's rolling over, heading for wave 3. You got a little doji. If it opens weaker, what's that telling you? They're taking it down, and if they take it down from here, they aren't holding up at this level anymore. They're going into wave 3. Okay, I guess that's about all I got. I don't think there's going to be any great activity tomorrow unless somebody or one of the polls show something different. The market will tell us who they want in as far as the next president. They're either going to slam it or they're going to do another cradle type pattern. If they take it up, we've got a cradle followed by a morning star. That's the time to be buying. If they gap it down, this will be on Wednesday. Yes. Hopefully, we will see a winner by Wednesday morning. Yeah, I understand. They've been having a lot of problems with even the voting machines in some parts of the nation. People were saying they would vote for one presidential candidate. Then by the time they went down checking off everything, and it says, click here to sign out, some of them have gone back up to make sure they hit everything right and discovered that when he got back up to the top, that the candidate they had voted for had now flipped over to the other one. So, anyways. Yeah, it's just surprising that we, in the supposedly the most sophisticated nation in the world, that we've got third world country voting systems. That's right, no election. So, all right, any questions on candlesticks? As far as Apple, I don't know how big is their dividend. It's not very big, is it? Would you please explain the scoop buy on 50 SMA on the U.S. dollar? Oh, just because it was the J-hook pattern. And notice what it did. It came right up, hit the 50, did a sell signal, pulled back to the T-line, and then what did it do? It did a J-hook. So at this point, what did this tell us? If it opened positive the next day and not regarding the 50 as a a resistance, it was going higher. So as soon as it started trading positive, we started buying it. Today, it did a little bit more than a spinning top, but anticipate that coming out of this J-hook pattern, if this is wave 1, wave 3 should take us up to the 200-day moving average. The difference between a gap up. A gap up is trying to think of anything that had a gap up. This is, well, that's a gap up kicker. It's kind of both. All right, somebody, what did we do with the kicker today? I've got them written down here. NTE. Oops. Kicker signals. When they open it here and close it here, the next day they gap it up above and open above the open and go the opposite direction. That's a kicker signal. Now a gap up can be trying to think of something that would have at some point had a gap up somewhere. Did Cena? That's kind of a kicker signal there. Kind of a kicker signal right here. Now here's a gap up. We have a doji just gapping up. That's just a gap up. A kicker signal is going to have a big dark candle, open at the previous day's open, and go the opposite direction, have another big bullish candle. You shouldn't have a stem at the bottom of the kicker signal. However, if you have a little one and it does this, it still represents the same thing. But they went from doing this to going this way, kicking it in the opposite direction. Back in July. Yeah, that's just a gap up. There's a green candle followed by a green candle. Okay, a flutter kicker. I'm trying to think if we've seen a flutter kicker recently. Nah. Hold on, I got to go back into some of my notes. Well, Shazam. Huh. I can't find any notes on a flutter kicker. But a flutter kicker. Did US Steel have a flutter kicker not too long ago? Here's somewhat of a flutter kicker right here. Not as clean as one as but notice you had this dark day, then the next day they gapped it up and kind of did a doji right at the previous day's open. And then, what do we know about a doji? That if they open up positive, they're going to go in the direction how they open it. So the next day they open up positive and go this way. Which means if you came in and took out the doji, you would essentially have a kicker signal. So that little flutter in there is the fact that they did a doji instead of moving it forward. But what does that do for us? What that does is if we see something that gaps open and does a kicker above the previous day's open, we don't have to chase after the kicker signal the next day. We can see if they open up positive, and if it opens positive, we can be buying immediately. No, my notes are under everything, under piles of I've got to clean this desk already, and I've only been here for a few days. So anyways, a flutter kicker has the advantage of getting prepared for a positive open the next day after a doji and go after it immediately. Okay, Jim, go ahead and do the double line and do the second double line in 15 seconds. No, there's no scan for identifying as a potential kicker. The kicker is the signal. So what you're trying to do is say, is there a way to know? The only way to know is if you happen to be following this and it's heading down. A lot of times you might be short, and then something happens where the next day you see it's gapping up at the previous day's open. If you watch it and it starts immediately moving positive after gapping up at that level, you should cover your short position immediately, and then you can go in and start buying immediately. TITN. Nothing here. You've got a very slow uptrend, and that's a very slow uptrend. You can see the direction of your trajectory. But if it comes back up, or if it's trades positive tomorrow, you can be buying just as long as it closes above the T line. THC, that's the Russell. THC, this one you continue to hold. This one's a good strong one, as long as it stays above the T line. And Rovi, here's that, this is what you need to do on these. If you see there's a bullish engulfing, it gaps up. That's exactly what you want to see. That tells you there's strength coming in. However, there's immediate profit taking. So when's the profit taking over? When you see a candlestick signal, there's a doji today. If it opens positive tomorrow, you know the profit taking's over. You can start buying immediately. AMGN. This one is not really going anywhere fast. I wouldn't be long or short this one right now. And CF did a belt or a piercing signal today. It needs confirmation, obviously. It needs to open positive. If it opens positive, you can start looking for it to trade positive. Obviously, you have to get through this downtrending channel fairly quick. DNDN, another one that isn't showing any real great strength. It did gap up, gave back a lot of it, but today they should have opened it positive and taken it back up. And you're still back down here near the T line. I wouldn't buy it now unless it came back up through the 50. It needs to show some sort of strength if the bulls have been able to take control. This one is a good one. This one you can be buying using the halfway point of today's candle as your stop. GALE, getting a little bit toppy up here. You've got a gap up, shooting star, doji. I'd put a sell stop right down here. If it comes down this way, they're coming back down at least to test the T line. Let's see. XRTX was one that somebody brought up from out of the chat room. This one's still a good-looking chart. You stay long as it stays above the T line. CMG, this one you stay long as it stays above the T line. That's a good-looking chart also. Crocs, this one you have to be careful. The first time they hit the T line, they're going to bounce back down. So if you buy it on the basis that If it does hit the T-line and fail, close it right out and wait for the next buy signal. Jabil, this one you can be buying on positive trading. That's a nice fry pan bottom breakout area. Priceline, this is the doji. It's going to tell you whether they finish the profit taking tomorrow. If they open up positive, you can be buying. If they open it lower, they're still taking profits. GDX. Oops, S.GDX. This one you stay short. More than likely, it has to hit the 200 before you can get that one to move back up. For more advertising. This one just stay strong. I wouldn't buy it here, but I wouldn't sell it here if I owned it. You just continue to hold. That's a steady Eddie. Rig. This one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow using the halfway point of today's candle as your stop. GMCR. Double doji. This is very simple. If it opens positive, you can buy aggressively. If it opens lower, you close out the position. USG. This one you stay long as it stays in an uptrend without a sell signal. INFI. Another one that's going to tell you what it's going to do based on how it opens tomorrow. Suncor. This one is a slow, it's got the potential of a double doji, so it has to open positive tomorrow and start heading up to own it. If it opens lower, you're in a fry pan bottom, and it's still in a fry pan bottom stage. CHUY, another one where you want to stay or be ready to buy on positive trading, again using the T-line as your stop. WFM, nice little scoop type pattern. This one you can buy on positive trading. MLNX, another one that's up above the T-line. This one you can buy on positive trading tomorrow also. And Haynes. Haynes did this belt hold signal. If it opens lower tomorrow, you want to be shorting it. They're going to take it all the way down to the 200. Let's see, we did Jabil Monster. It's trying to bottom. If you're short, you stay short. But if it opens positive tomorrow, I would probably close out the short position, but it would have to get through the T-line. SFY, stay short until you see a buy signal and a close above the T-line. FAS, that's as flat as a pancake. I wouldn't be long or short on this one. Move your money someplace else to make some money. McDonald's. McDonald's, stay short until you see a buy signal, which you haven't yet, and a close above the T-line. Just telling somebody the other day, it used to be we could run down to McDonald's from the house here, and for $1, we could get 3 cheeseburgers, a french fries, and a milkshake, and get change back from the dollar. Western Digital just got back up above the T-line. This one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow. Ford, this one you stay long as it stays above the T-line. And Goodyear. Goodyear, you don't want to get into this until it can close above the T-line, which it's having trouble doing right now. 3D. 3D, you're in an uptrend, obviously. There's your gap up. That's different than a kicker. That's a doji followed by a gap up. You stay in this as long as it doesn't close below the T line. Now, if I own this and I saw it trading down below the T line, or as it came down through the T line, I'd cover the position. If it came down through it and then came back up through it, you buy back your position as it comes back up through the T line. Oh, she does butts. S.ECU is not coming up. FIG. Here's a perfect setup for a doji sandwich. Left-right combo right on the T line, or on the 50. Came up through the T line. Now you did a doji just above the high of this uptrend. If it opens positive tomorrow, you're going to have a doji sandwich. You want to be buying immediately. We did CF. MCP. Got MCP. This one, if you're short, you stay short. This one, if it opens weaker tomorrow, you probably want to be shorting it. The Qs, just like the Dow or the Nasdaq, it's hovering right here on the 200. It'll tell us in the next few days whether it wants to stay there or head higher again. 8, this one you can be buying. Now, it didn't do an advanced rising or methods rising. A methods rising needed this day to open positive, meaning trade up, and it needed to close above this candle right here. But you do have a bullish engulfing, so just be a little bit more careful. If it starts going up above this level, I mean, you can put a buy stop right here for a couple reasons. It would be breaking out of this little pattern, plus it would be breaking out of this level, sending it up into new high territory. Apple, just stay short until you see a buy signal. It'll tell you what it's doing on how they open it tomorrow. FSLR, this one is still in this pennant formation. I'd wait for it to be breaking out one way or the other. CENX also might be having trouble getting through the 50 or the 200. Be careful. I'd rather pay $6.25 knowing that it broke up through that level. TRIP, another one that might be finished with its profit taking. If it opens positive tomorrow, you've got a double doji. You want to be buying immediately. BDX, kind of your stick sandwich. If it opens positive, you want to be adding to it or buying. IOC, still stay short until you see a buy signal. NVG, not quite a flutter kicker. Now, this needed to be a big bullish candle. However, you do have a candle going in this direction, gap up doji, gap up doji. Those are usually good signs. Now, if you buy on positive trading, it needs to show you a good, strong signal. If it opens and comes back down through the doji, you get out of it immediately. VHC, hold on for 1 second, folks. Got to change it here. Okay, sorry about that. VHC, you want to be going short on any weakness. There's your morning star, evening stars, things rolling over. There's your trend channel, which means you're coming back down here to the $24 area. TWC, this one, if it opens lower tomorrow, go short. SWKS. Another one. That's a kicker signal. Opened here, closed here, gap down, and went this direction. This is profit taking. If it starts showing weakness tomorrow, meaning opening lower and trade lower, you want to be shorting it. DTG, stay short until you see a buy signal. That's a good short. Dollar Thrifty auto. Okay. Yeah, the auto, some of those we're getting. Which ones? I thought we had a couple of them. It's an AXL. No, it's PAG. United Auto Group. Yeah, they're all getting whacked. MTW. That's your belt hold. But it's not, if you buy on positive trading, this little belt hold should have changed the trajectory of this trend. So look for it to start moving positive from here. If it stalls right in here, get back out of it and find something else to trade for a while. Stay short. You're getting some buy signals, but notice where your stochastics are. You've been in a downtrend. Your stochastics have been oversold for over a month. So just because your stochastics are in the oversold area doesn't mean your trend isn't still in progress. When this one, you can be shorting on weakness tomorrow. I would be looking at some of the put spreads on this one. Somebody remind me in the chat room tomorrow to look at put spreads on this. ACN, this one could be a potential stick sandwich if it opens weaker tomorrow. Dollar Tree, another one that if it opens weaker tomorrow, you want to be shorting it. One of the happiest days of my mother's life is that they just put in a Dollar Tree down here at the bottom of the hill. We do all our Christmas shopping in those stores. This one looks like a slow fry pan bottom. I wouldn't be buying it until it got up through the 50. What was that? OVTI. We did 8. CLF. Nothing there yet. It's trying to base, but I'd rather pay for it coming up through the T line. RAX, double doji. If this opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying immediately. And hog. Whoops, that's heating oil. Hog, stay long as it stays above the T line. Fossil. Saving you a lap on FOSL. This one, stay long. Now, you might be running into resistance here at the 200, so expect maybe a pullback to the T line. BMRN, big gap up. This one now probably has a 45 degree coming off of here. So if you were buying it on positive trading, do not want to see it close back below the halfway point of this candle. We did Ford, stamped. Looks like it's doing a J-hook pattern. It might be waiting for the T-line to catch up. At this point, I wouldn't want to see it trade back below today's low. If it did that, that tells you the sellers are still there, probably taking profits back to the T-line. Nuance was running out of steam here recently, but it is above the T-line with a double doji. If it opens positive tomorrow, you can be buying. And Costco. Piercing signal, kind of a stutter step. If it opens positive, you want to be buying it. We did BBBY Exide. Flat. I'd rather pay $3.35 knowing it broke up out of this range. CCI wouldn't be short yet. You can see what the obvious is an uptrend. You do have an evening star signal, but you haven't closed back below the T-line yet. I would rather find something that's in this type of situation heading down to short versus something that's been a slow uptrend. All right. Cromer has CEO on Hain. All right. Yeah, be careful with Kramer's picks. Right now, I've probably got 60% in cash. And that's kind of letting the market tell you what the market is doing, and the market is telling us it's not doing anything. So why sit out there with exposure not knowing what's going to happen? Just sit with cash until we did GDX. Sit with cash until we know which way it's going. Oh, okay. GDX, I would suspect it's going to hit the 200 and price line. It needs to trade positive to show you the profit taking's over. If the profit taking's over, it's still in a nice uptrend. Yeah, NTW does have that belt hold, so it needs to show there's a change of trajectory. If it does waffling around here for a few more days, I'd find something else to trade. This one's not turning into a good trader. Okay. A stick sandwich. Oh, I can't remember which one it was. A stick sandwich is where you have a big up day, then a big down day, and then a big up day. That's a stick upset or a stick sandwich. Okay. I figure we're going to have another day where we can kind of sit back and eat our bonbons while we're watching the market tomorrow. So I know you all were as irate as I was on those first few calls in the Steelers game that could have changed the whole season, but fortunately things worked out right at the end. IDCC, continue to hold this until you see a sell signal. All right, everybody, have a good evening. We will see you in the chat rooms tomorrow.